Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Green Cottage Design and my name is Tara. Today I figured I would bring you along on a pretty extensive plant care / plant chore day. This essentially ended up being my winterizing my houseplants day. And by day I mean 2 days, because I started and then procrastinated for a week and finished the rest. Full disclosure, it is 10:50 p.m. the night before I am scheduled to post this video, and I am sitting here with a glass of wine after 45 minutes of attempting to record this audio due to myriad reasons that we won't get into. Full disclosure, it was like 64% operator error. Anyway, moving on. As we can see here, my poor Monstera adansonii has been afflicted with some kind of pest. I believe it's like aphids or spider mites or something. The little black dots that you'll see here, those little buggy bastards right there, they need to go. This thing has been constantly afflicted with spider mites, so I just bought another one, and if this one doesn't survive this round and the next round that I show in the video of pest removal, I may honestly just give up, because I've been fighting with this specific plant for literally a freaking year, and I'm done. I'm done fighting with it. Here's a great example of how you can tell a pothos, or pretty much most vining aroids, how you can tell they need to be watered. You see how the leaves have curled up here, especially that one. If I would say at least 50% of the leaves on your plant are curled up like that, it's time to give it water. And these guys generally would far prefer underwatering to overwatering, so keep that in mind. Here we can see the results of my procrastination, in that the vast majority of my plant collection needed attention on this day rather than about half of it. So this ended up being a multi-hour process. What I'm doing here is just going through and pruning any dead or about to be dead leaves, pulling out any various detritus and what have you from the plants before I water them. And as I go through the process of watering them, I've also stuck some just fertilizer stakes, essentially, those like Miracle-Gro sticks that you can get at the grocery store or wherever. I don't have any other fertilizer on hand at the moment, and all of my plants are still putting out growth, so because they have not been fertilized in about a month, I wanted to give them something. And since I was watering so many at the same time, I figured I would just break up those fertilizer sticks that I have. Moving on, as you can see here, I'm using a plastic knife to prop up this alocasia. I am a big proponent of use what you've got, and if something needs to be staked up and I don't have any bamboo stakes, or I don't have any other stakes around, I'm going to make do with what I have because I care more about this plant standing up properly than it looking pretty while it does so. I think I have a plastic spoon holding up my Hoya macrophylla, which you'll see later on in the video. Like, if it works, if it does the job, use it until you can manage to get something else. I want to point out, so if you see that snake plant, the dirt is below the lip of the pot. That is a good hack for if you need to pot something up, but you don't have the right size. If you have a bigger pot, just don't fill the dirt all the way. Also, check how cute this tiny baby leaf is. That is coming out of a cutting that I thought had died because the leaf fell off. But this little guy poked up out of there. And he's so cute and tiny. I just had to show that off. You may have noticed I'm pouring back and forth between that white bowl and a blue something or other a lot. That would be a watering can. Because I'm watering so many plants at once, I don't want to just let all the water go down the drain and go to waste. It's obviously an environmental irresponsibility, and B, I don't want my water bill to go through the roof. Here we can see that Monstera from earlier. Since it's been a week, I'm giving it one more round of treatment to kind of try and get rid of any remaining pests that may not have died the first round. So I've given it an additional spray of that neem oil solution, and in addition I have squirted diatomaceous earth across the top, which is a pretty effective pest control method. It is now the next day, because when I was watering all of those plants, it actually happened to be mine and my husband's 5-year wedding anniversary, and it was getting pretty close to dinner time by the time I finally got everything watered. So I set everything away and aside for the night, and we just made dinner together and hung out and celebrated 5 years of marriage, which is kind of crazy to think about. It's been pretty good so far. Highly recommend. Anyway, here I just wanted to point out, these are some Rhaphidophora tetrasperma cuttings. They were leaf cuttings and the leaves died, and I almost threw them away, but then I saw that there's actually some little bits of new growth poking out. So all hope is not lost. As long as you have healthy stem with node for an aroid or any kind of vining plant that grows in a node-like pattern, there's potential to save the plant. So, yay! One recommendation I can make is that if you live in a place that gets dry in the winter, and my house does tend to get pretty dry, we have wall heaters rather than forced heat, so electric heat equals loss of dry static electricity. So I would recommend getting a hold of a humidifier of some sort if your relative humidity in your house gets below like 35% in the winter. Mine does. I just have this little cheapy $20 one from Target that I got like 3 years ago when my asthma got really bad over the winter. You don't need, a Levoit or an Elec Holmes or one of those fancy ones you see on Plant YouTube to start out with. Any method of injecting more humid into your environment is going to be better than nothing. You can get these at Target, you can get them at Walmart, you can get them secondhand. They're, Amazon, they're pretty easy to come by, and I would definitely strongly recommend it if you live in a dry place and want to try and maintain any kind of tropical plants. And with that, we are pretty much getting ready to put everything back. I keep all of my succulents on this windowsill. It's an east-facing window, and it's the biggest window that I have available for setting plants on. So succulents and the like get first priority of this area. And here we have the final results and the reset and everything all cleaned up and shiny and rearranged and ready to go for winter, hopefully. These guys on the bottom shelf here next to the Adansonii also had pests, so they are all quarantined together until they have been pest-free for a few weeks.